Bob here. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments. And speaking of the comments, from time to time in the comments, we get people asking about one shot. A lot of questions about one shot, but one specific question that's timely to this season because a lot of you growing outdoor. It's getting into the bloom, getting into the late part of the game, and so we're getting serious about it. So they ask about one shot. Can you go all the way through in an outdoor grow with one shot? And like a lot of life's big, whoa, watch out for that poopy. And like a lot of life's big questions, the answer is not so much important can you, but should you? And if you're growing some of these guys right here, some tomatoes, what kind of tomatoes we got here? Some big beef tomatoes, putting a little one shot on at the start, putting a little one shot on. This is hard to get open. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Santa Maria. A few minutes later. Then putting a little on. I spilled out my coffee. Putting a little on, part way through. That's a great way to go. But if you're growing flower, it certainly becomes not a heck no, but something you need to think through. And Scott and I did a viewer questions episode a while back where we talked about just that, about how you can use one shot all the way through, and also some things you might add to the regimen that make it, a little more complicated, but not much, that can make a real difference. So I wanted to show you that video since it's bloom season and you're going to be maybe re-amending with one shot, or maybe thinking about adding some bottle nutrients to the mix to make that work for you. So watch this video and I'll talk to you after. Could you use enough of those dry things that would be the only source of nutrition for the plant, or if you're pushing harder, you're always going to need some liquids in addition to that?
Well, it depends on what you're doing and what you want to do with the plant. If you're trying to grow the biggest flower and the most aromatic, then it's not enough.
Not enough, yeah.
If you want simplicity because you're in a wheelchair, you can't roll down the garden path, and you need to just do water and not mix up anything, that will get you a crop from start to finish.
So growing some tomatoes or something, yeah.
For sure, peppers, yeah. Most of your run-of-the-mill vegetables, no problem.
High value
heavy consuming foods or flowers, they're going to need more, or at least an additional top dress throughout the cycle to make sure that they are constantly getting more food. The nice thing about one shot is that you're not overfeeding. So even if you top dress in the 3rd or 4th week of the flowering cycle, knowing you only have 4 to 5 weeks left, it's nothing that's going to sit there and residually, hey, we're talking, Carl. Doesn't he know?
So at this point in the video, Carl Gorka called for about the 3rd time, maybe the 2nd time, and Scott saw it on my cell phone and went on at some length about how Carl shouldn't interrupt us, even though I don't know how Carl would have known that we were doing the thing, but it doesn't matter. It was fair on both sides. It just went on for a bit, so we're just going to skip ahead.
So it really just comes down to how often you top dress for the sake of, yes, you can run a crop start to finish.
Okay.
Whether or not it's going to be the award-winning, the biggest, the most tasty, it's, depends on genetics.
Not so much. Okay.
To make that work really good, throw some Gaia and Herculean in there, you're good to go.
So let me ask you this. So what is the difference between putting on just a ton of one shot at the start over putting on some at the start and then putting it on 3 or 4 weeks in? Does it degrade on its own whether it gets eatan or not, or what's the?
It'll degrade with water. It'll degrade with time and erosion. But yeah, if you're putting a bunch down, your plant can't eat all of it at once.
Right. So some of it's gonna
inevitably most of it will run off.
Right. Okay.
So why put down so much that you're just gonna water it away when you can just continuously top dress a little bit more throughout the cycle?
Okay. So if you were trying to go simple and you did the one shot, just throwing in some Gaia or something from time to time, is that going to be much of a help over going with the whole line? I mean, is it worth going to that step of going to any of the liquids, or should we, without going to the whole thing?
Well, I mean, you're going to the whole thing, then the one shot's overkill.
Yeah,
so there's no point. But Gaia is just going to help you bring everything that's in one shot, you're bringing to the table in a soluble, ready now form with the Gaia.
Okay.
And so if you just feel like you're missing something, Gaia's going to fill in that void with everything that one shot really is. It's just going to be in a liquid form today.
So if you were doing the one shot, it might make sense to do a little Gaia, but then when you jump up to using everything, then you drop the one shot?
Drop it or reduce it. You just don't need to. Or use that in your early stages so it's your backup during the bloom stages. While you're hammering them here, but you still would reduce the amount. You wouldn't put in, tens of tens of pounds into a 100-gallon pot if you're going to run the nutrient line regular basis.
Okay.
If you're doing this once a week, then you can put more one shot in and just hit them once a week with a heavy feed. So you're just covering your butt on all levels of growth.
Okay, so that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that, found it informative and entertaining, and I wanted it to be something you learned a little bit from or saw a little bit from, something you might be able to use, but also as a start to a conversation about using one shot all the way through, and also the bigger topic of what we're doing to maximize yield and flavor and all that sort of thing in bloom. So if you got questions, get those in the comments, because I'm going to try to get those to Scott tomorrow, and we're going to have a viewer questions episode, and I'd like that viewer questions episode to revolve a lot around bloom strategies, and also using one shot in an outdoor grow to get you all the way to the end, or to get you almost all the way to the end, and then working with some bottle nutrients to maybe save some money, or to make it a little easier to do. That's the show for today. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.